Hey everybody, how's it going? Today we'll be going over my experiences with the open network test for Gundam Breaker 4. Okay, so one of the things I really wanted to talk about first is that this game is still not out fully yet, so this is just the open network test that was available for today for a few hours that I managed to jump in, try it out, try some of the customization, try out some of the levels that are actually in the game. And honestly, I can say that this game has definitely impressed me in the way that when I saw the actual trailer for the game, it looked interesting, but it didn't really push me to really want to buy the game. But after actually giving it a try, I can safely say that even if you're not watching this whole video through, 100% I'm giving this game a try when it comes out fully at the end of this month. Okay, so one of the things I wanted to talk about first was the gameplay itself. So Gundam Breaker 4 has a very hack and slash style gameplay to it, where it revolves around you having certain binds that allow you to either pull off special moves or to be able to use armaments mounted onto your unit, such as you see in the anime themselves. So I tested out a few of these, and my main preference was more related to the seed style weaponry, but this game has over 1,000 different parts that you can use to change the way you actually play and fight within these arenas. And that is another thing I wanted to touch upon. These are based in small to large arenas, so it's not open world by any means. It is quite expansive on some levels, and there are different geometry to it. So you have some levels that are quite flat, some levels that are quite tall, and I found that quite enjoyable as a sort of landscape that you can play within. And one of the things that I enjoyed quite a lot was the actual kind of flow to the mobile suit itself, as basically in the show we see them as these really fast moving machines that are really cool and have these insane attacks and, you know, these really agile sort of movements to them. And you could pretty much portray all the things you see there in this game, which I found really cool. And another interesting aspect of the gameplay is that, considering these are based off model kits, there is a element to which basically you as the player are basically knocking the parts off of other kits, let's just say. And basically at the end of every mission you will have collected these parts, and after you've collected these parts you can use those on your own unit. Obviously these parts have a certain level of rarity to them, so their stats are going to be different. So I like that gameplay wise, that we're going to have like a little bit of a stat building element to this. Another element that I like is the fact that we have special attacks that are something that needs to be charged by getting a combo counter high enough, and the fact that we also have another set of special attacks that are related to any armaments that you may have on the mobile suit itself. So at the end of the day, you're creating a very unique machine that maybe this other person that's playing this game might not have, which I enjoy greatly. Another aspect of the combat that I enjoy is that as you're fighting harder enemies, you tend to knock off certain parts on them, meaning that they can't either block your attacks, or they are incapable of attacking you, or they are stunned in a way, which I found quite enjoyable. And it basically added this feeling of basically you're able to compromise the enemy team or the enemies in a way that can either happen to you or to them as well, because it's not just them that can get their parts knocked off. You can also get your parts knocked off, and meaning that they basically leave you open to attack. But eventually the parts do sort of magnetize back. You'll see that in the gameplay, that it kind of has like this beam that pulls the pieces back to it, which I found really cool. And basically the stages, they are about 3 minutes to 5 minutes long that I managed to try out. But they are really enjoyable, with a variety of different enemies spanning from Cosmic Era, or from the Seed universe, or from even Iron-Blooded Orphans. I was actually quite surprised that I managed to see some Iron-Blooded Orphan mobile suits in there, which I personally love the Iron-Blooded Orphans line. And I also enjoyed the fact that the game feels very chaotic, and it feels very fast and very fun, and it always feels like you're either, you know, taking a fight with, say, a Zaku or a Rick Diaz, and it kind of feels very anime-esque. So like that one mobile suit who goes against like tons and tons of units, and it really is quite fun. So another aspect of the gameplay that I'm sure some of you might be interested in is the aspect that we do have boss battles in this game, and they are pretty enjoyable at that. So as you can see, I'm fighting the Big Zam, a mobile armor that I'm not particularly familiar with, but seeing just the scale of the unit compared to my mobile suit, it kind of makes you feel like this is like a really big threat, or it makes you feel like, oh, this is going to be a challenge. And I enjoyed that aspect quite a bit, because I do enjoy that sort of David and Goliath sort of aspect to gameplay, where there's a massive boss and you're just a tiny unit compared to it. And basically you take on these bosses at the end of every stage, as far as I'm aware, and what I managed to play in the limited amount that I had for the open network test. And as you can see, that certain attacks don't work against bigger units like this. So for this unit, you'd have to obviously stay pretty high up. You can hit the legs, but mainly that large chunk on the Big Zam is where you want to be, you know, hitting it. But all in all, it was really enjoyable to actually take on these larger boss battles. And, you know, they're really fun, and they're very different, every one of them. And I'm not going to spoil which ones you may have later on, but I want to say that don't expect the same boss battle over and over again, which I found very surprising. Another aspect of the boss battles that I want to talk about is the fact that you will take damage if you're not careful, and these units hit hard. So you do have an aspect that you can see me popping right now, is the ability to heal my unit. So my final thoughts on boss battles is that they're really fun, and that they are definitely something that you should look forward to while playing, as it really makes you feel like, you know, you're a Gundam Meister who basically challenges the biggest foes that there is. And honestly, it was really fun. And I enjoyed this playtest, and now I'm going to give you my final thoughts on what I thought about the game. My experience with the open network test was that it was really fun for the amount of time I was able to play. Obviously, we have to wait until the full game releases at the end of this month on the 29th of August. And I can't wait to really be able to jump into this game and actually, you know, be able to put together, whether it be a custom Barbatos or a kind of dark Justice Gundam. And I feel like this game really encapsulates that freedom that we have with the actual Gunpla model kits themselves. And it's kind of cool seeing maybe a kit that you thought of in your head, or a like design that you thought being brought to life, and this game does it perfectly. So that's my thoughts on this game. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.